10.
Slam 9.
8. 7.
6 shots.
5.
Quattro.
We are the three. Amigos. 2 more mother humpers.
One ring to rule them all.
Let's rock!
All right. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's 6 a.m. here in Japan, and today I'm joined by the uninspired reviewer. All right, there. Say hello to everybody.
Hi, we are the two amigos. Yeah.
Yes, actually, I was just looking at that. It's like, right now with my voice, there's no way I could carry that tune.
Dude, me too. I was thinking about it, but then I was like, oh no, this is definitely not possible.
Yeah.
But dude,
So yeah, both of us right
man.
now are suffering from some sort of cold on opposite side of the planet. So
Mhm. That's basically how life is, man. It's a small world after all. Everyone is
yeah.
catching a cold. It's horrible.
So yeah, so
Oh,
please
man.
enjoy these raspy voices as we talk about the comedy classic that is The Great Outdoors.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun,
dun.
dun. So
Hey,
yeah,
it's John Aykroyd and John Candy. Hell
I
yeah.
know what, and back in their prime. Ah, man, I sure do miss John Candy too. He left us way too soon.
Oh,
So
dude, I
yeah,
was thinking about it when I was watching the movie. I feel like John Candy has such a, I don't know how to say this. He has such a human touch to everything that he plays. You can tell that the characters he plays are incredibly sincere, especially in this
mhm.
movie. And this was my first time watching, but like, I feel like in this one, he's just your everyday average Joe, but it's even more than that because you can just tell that he's so sincere through his acting. You can tell that John Candy is a good guy in real life. It
Oh
makes
yeah,
a
you
shame
can
that he's
just like
gone.
relate to him 100%, and you can tell it's really genuine. Like that's him,
Mhm.
that's John Candy, right? And
Yep.
that's why he's so relatable in his films. And yeah, fortunately he passed away in 1994.
Oh,
Still remember
yeah.
that day. Come home from school, my mom telling me because I love John Candy so much, and I was so sad that day. And that's been 30 years ago now, and he is missed. He is deeply missed. But luckily, we
Mm.
can still enjoy his craft through so many great films that he made during, especially the 80s and the early 90s.
Oh,
And
yeah.
for me, this is one of them. I grew up watching this film. This was like the every summer, like the family would put this one on, right? So I've probably
Mhm.
seen this film a good 30 times.
Mm.
And the comedy bits, they still never get old for me. And this was your first time,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yep, 100% first. I had never even heard about the movie before you told me about it when we were originally scheduled to do this. And I was like, and you convinced me to watch it. You were like, hey, man, it's a good, like, nice family movie. You're going to enjoy it. I was like, yeah, I'll do it for sure. And I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think that I was saying this backstage, but I don't think it's John Hughes his strongest movie because of
Mhm.
the plot, but I do think that Dan Aykroyd and John Candy kind of save it, just because of how I guess the dynamic that they have, especially between John Candy, so let's say Chester, Roman, and their
Yeah.
wives. I feel like the dynamics between all of the characters, even the kids, except for the twins, they're just kind of there sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
the twins are kind of props,
yeah.
but until like the very end. But
Hmm.
definitely, especially between John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, they play the perfect odd couple, and that comes
Yes.
off so well in this film. And yeah, definitely, this is definitely a character-driven and not a plot-driven film. That's for sure.
Mhm,
Yeah.
and it's not even like a fish out of water scenario where they like they could have easily gone the route. This is where you see the John Hughes aspect of the writing. It's like they could
Yes.
have easily gone the route of Dan Aykroyd just being a fish out of water, a rich dude that's accustomed to a certain lifestyle, going to, as the film title says, the great outdoors.
Yeah.
And it could have been him just,
He's like
doing
city
this
slicker
and
guy.
that. Yeah, exactly. Like it could have been him, maybe trying to fish and falling into the water the entire movie. Gags like that. But no, he's actually a really capable dude. So is John Candy's character, and
Yeah.
it just makes it more realistic in terms of the dynamics that they present, which I
Oh yeah,
really, really do appreciate.
you believe these are real people. You believe these are real characters. Oh my goodness! Oh, here we go. Yes, yes. Good morning, William Shakes. Shake
Shake
Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness. Yes, you are the first one here. Yes, you please sit center, not front row seat. The best seat is usually a few rows back. Yes, I don't want you to hurt your neck there, William.
The best
Yes,
seat is probably one row behind the middle. One or two rows behind the middle is the best
yes,
seat.
yes. So I want you to get the best experience possible. And you must have a really big living room.
Yeah, and it's like you can tell John Hughes' influence is here. I do think that one of the best examples, well, two of the best examples of these slice of life type of movies where the plot isn't really important, but it's more of the characters, is Dazed and Confused and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think
Yeah.
those two are some of the prime examples of how to do it right, because the rewatchability factor in those movies is very, very high. And that's one thing that I judge movies by, is by rewatchability. And I do
Definitely.
think
And
that this one is there,
yes, yes, this film's there. You can rewatch it 100. Like I said, I've probably seen it 30 times, and it's still funny every time. And you just love being with the characters, and that's definitely a sign of like a good film.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I was already straining my neck terribly. Oh, okay, good. Phew. Well, yeah, I get worried sometimes. I'm glad. I moved a few
So,
rows
yeah,
back. Excellent.
got to take care of the viewers next, man.
Exactly. It's important. We care. I care here about my viewers. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So came out 1988, 1 hour 31 minutes, perfect runtime. 90 minutes is the perfect
Sweet spot.
runtime for a comedy
Yep.
film, because you don't want to overstay its welcome. I know recently there's a lot of, or maybe more so in the 2010s and early like 20 teens, was comedy started stretching to like 2 hours, like two. It's like no, that's too long. The gags run dry. Yeah, you got to get in and out with a comedy.
Well, it's also because comedy wasn't like that. Well, it wasn't as snappy. Well, comedy nowadays isn't as snappy as it was before. So back then,
No,
an
it's
hour 30 was enough to not overstay your welcome. Now, in
comedy.
2 hours, you only have about an hour of comedy, but an hour of whatever the plot is about. So it's
Yeah.
not 100% focused on comedy every single second of the movie, unlike how it was before, with the great outdoors in the 80s and 90s, even in the 70s.
There's also comedy now that's like, they call it like the Judd Apatow comedy, although he did it right, but a lot of people are trying to mimic it, where it's just people rambling, like trying to riff off each other, and it's just not funny in the end because it's just so messy. Yeah, where like good scripted comedy with a little bit of improv is perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yes, John Candy plus Dan Aykroyd equals magic, essentially. And that's my feeling, too. Yeah, they are two OGs. They'll never be duplicated. And you know what? Proud to say they're also two Canadians. So, yes,
nice.
That's some home country pride there. So, on IMDb, it's got 6.6 out of 10. And that's kind of close to where I was expecting it. I think a 7 would be more appropriate, but the Rotten Tomatoes annoys me. Again, I'm always amazed at how lowly rated movies from the 80s and 90s are, despite being so superior to what's produced today.
Yeah, well, I think it's because of the Rotten Tomatoes. The factor is that there's not a lot of people that actually rate older movies on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a huge problem. Like, because you look at the amount of reviews for older movies on Rotten Tomatoes, you have a very small amount. You have around, I would guess, under 50 or 50 to 100 per old movie most of the time, unless it's like a very, very known older film. But that's the big issue with Rotten Tomatoes. The only time I trust Rotten Tomatoes wholeheartedly is when it comes to audience reviews of horror movies.
Really? So that's your one caveat for Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah. Because sometimes you'll see an IMDb score of like 4 out of 10, and you'll be like, "Oh my god!" But then you see the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is 100 or 98, and then when you watch the movie, you're like, the people on IMDb were probably smoking something when they were writing their reviews.
All I know is Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I actually used to have some faith in like the mainstream critique of movies by like the
Hmm.
actual official critics, but man, that's just gone out the complete window because I'm at odds probably 7 out of 10 times with them.
Oh yeah.
It's just gotten terrible. Oh, here we are. Melvin, deeply nice to see you. Welcome to the show.
Hey
A
Melvin.
lot of modern films are too long. Yes, 100%. 2 hours should be max. They spent 100
Hmm.
years working out the perfect time, then flung it all out the window in the past few years. Yeah, there's been a lot of like basic rules of filmmaking that they've totally disregarded recently. And it's like these rules came about naturally because they work. And they're trying to reinvent the wheel a lot recently. And it just doesn't work. So I'm with you 100% there, Melvin.
Yeah, I don't get why movies are so long
So
today.
long. I just want to, man, Rotten Tomatoes itself only deserves a 90% fresh because, yes. Oh my God, we should start doing aggregate for like reviewing, like review sites.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
good idea.
Rotten Tomatoes would probably get like a decent 15% from me. That's what it
Yeah.
would get. Because it
But man,
has made me found some gems, but overall it's just trash.
overall it's
Undeniable.
trash. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
it's splat overall. But yeah, but what Melvin was saying, uh, what movies being so long, I have like a certain way I measure if a movie's too long or not. And when I go to the movie theater, I like to bring myself like a nice diet Coke from the
Hmm.
vendor, and they I'm drinking it, and if I'm gonna piss my pants before the movie's over, it's too long. That's
Yep.
yeah, and that was happening to me during uh, uh, which I liked, but again, I felt it went on too long. Was Deadpool versus Wolverine,
Oh
and I
yeah, I
drink my
agree.
soda, and I'm at the end, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, it's almost over, and then all of a
And nope.
sudden they come back to life. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna piss my pants. Just end this thing.
Yeah.
I know Avatar 2, 3 hours and 12 minutes, and that's what's funny because Avatar 2. I actually liked the theme and the story better than the first one, and it's obviously it wasn't like a deep story, anything groundbreaking. But it's like if you trimmed Avatar 2 down to an hour and 45 minutes long, it actually would have been a pretty decent movie. But it's
Oh yeah.
so stretched out, and it's just so it's like so much filler.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can tell that he wanted to make an epic, but didn't really know how.
yeah. I'm feeling generous today. Too
Too
generous.
generous. But yeah, I feel like this is a great return to form in terms of 91 minutes. It's nice, it's short, it's sweet. It gets what it has to get
Yeah.
out of the way quickly. Sometimes a bit too quickly in terms of storylines, especially when it comes to I think it's Buckley and yeah, it's Buckley
Oh,
and Cammy.
his love interest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we'll get into that. That was a aspect I never really cared for in the film. And then the
Hmm.
twins getting lost at the end, just to create like that dramatic moment. There is a little bit of reason behind it that I like that was set up.
Yeah.
Uh, I like this here. That's what Hitchcock said. The length of the film should be directly related to the strength of the human bladder. Yes,
Yep. Hitchcock knows best.
because remember, tension is the audience knowing they have to take a piss, but the characters not. Yes. Oh man. All right. So the director though was also Howard Dutch. I guess that's how I'm going to pronounce
Yeah,
it.
that's how I thought it was pronounced. Yeah, Howard Dutch.
Yeah. So I looked up his filmography here, and actually, yeah, I kind of didn't realize he's got a few other movies I like quite a bit here. First of all, he did Pretty in Pink.
Hmm.
So the same director as Pretty in Pink did The Great Outdoors, and he did Grumpier Old Men. So the first one's Grumpy Old Men, but I also like Grumpier Old Men, which is the sequel,
Hmm.
which is also an Odd Couple themed type film similar to this. And he did The Odd Couple too. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that one.
Never seen The Odd Couple 2.
The Odd Couple 2, you know what? That might be like one of the first ever like legacy sequels
Oh
because
wow.
it picks because The Odd Couple's from the 1960s, and this one picks up with the same characters. So that could be like one of the first ever legacy sequels.
I've seen a bit of The Odd Couple, but I never knew that they had made like a sequel or anything
Odd
related to
Couple's
it.
great. The sequel is if you're a fan, you'll enjoy it just for like kind of like a comfort, but it's
Yeah, just like shits and giggles.
yeah, shits and giggles type of stuff. Yeah. So our cast, obviously, we got Dan Aykroyd and John Candy, the legends. Then we got so John Candy's wife, Stephanie Farrisate. I think she played her character really well too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think she's too famous of an actress. And Annette Bening is Dan Aykroyd's wife, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And she's great. She plays the snobby, kind of like housewife to like a 1980s stock trader really well.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's like you don't see too much of her, but you see just enough. You know,
yeah,
that's the best way to describe it. You don't see her as much as you see Stephanie Ferresi's character,
yeah.
but I feel like she did enough. Like she was a perfect complement to Craig.
Yes. And then you got John Candy's boys, which is Buck and Ben. Fortunately, you can't really see it here because this is him as an adult now. But Ben, I could have sworn was played by Fred Savage my whole life until I just, you'll see why soon. Yeah. Then after that, we got just the only other really actor of note here is Robert Prosky.
Yep.
Yeah, who plays the kind of like the manager and owner of like the camping site, like where all the cabins are.
And you
As
literally see
Wally.
him for like 3 minutes in the entire film, and
Uh,
he's so hilarious every single
he,
second.
he steals every scene he's in, and he's great. And I realized that he's also the station manager from Mrs. Doubtfire. A
Mhm.
completely different character, and you wouldn't even recognize it's him. Like, of course, but once you know it and you see his face, you're like, oh my god. But yeah, his character is completely different, and it's just hilarious seeing him in this. So let's give today's film the proper introduction with the title crawl. So are you ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Inspired reviewer, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna hide my ticker for this, so I don't want anything in the way.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Their official opening's done. And yes, that is a bizarre element in this movie is you're never really quite sure where it's taking place. Like it's bizarre.
Mhm.
It's like because like they mentioned Minnesota, they're got Wisconsin, they got Illinois plates. It's
Yep.
filmed in California. I believe it's filmed in. I got the name of the place here. Bass Lake, California. So it's obviously somewhere up in the mountains in California.
Mhm.
And then they also mentioned Canada twice. Like they got like the Royal Canadian something on the menu at the steakhouse. When they're going to go meet the old man, he says, he's the oldest man in Canada, kids.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, where's this taking place? Like it's so nebulous.
It's just taking place in the great outdoors. That's all it is.
That's
It's
what it,
just
yeah, that's what it is.
winter.
It's taking place in the great outdoors, right? So it's all these spots that are kind of known as like wilderness, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, just so I found that interesting. But what I find why I think this movie also really personally touched me is where it's filmed, this Bass Lake, California. It looks identical to where I went on a family trip every summer for a week as a kid. We
Nice.
rented a cabin, and it's the exact same type of environment, even the same type of trees. Because like in California, those are all like ponderosa pines,
Mhm.
and I'm like, all right, we got the same trees in where I'm from and stuff. So it's like identical looking. So as a kid, I could relate to it like 100%.
Oh yeah.
It was literally my family trip.
That's why it became a nice comfort movie for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about trip, it's time to introduce our Japanese word of the day. This is also important.
Ooh.
So I'm going to quiz you on this, okay? All right. You ready?
All right.
All right. So that's Ryoko. Say it with me. Ryoko.
Ryoko.
There we go. Very nice. Ryoko.
Ryoko.
Excellent. So next time you're trying a trip, next time you're traveling, just say Ryoko. So
All
Ryoko
right.
shimashou. Let's travel.
Ryoko. Nice.
Yes, yes, yes. So I always hope to teach at least one Japanese word in every one of my shows since I'm broadcasting live from Japan. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So
he's
the
not
great
bullshitting you,
outdoors.
folks. He's actually in Japan.
I'm
It is
actually in
early in the
Japan. Yes.
morning.
It's early in the morning here, and I hope the kids don't wake up. Well, hello there, Cannoli Sasquatch. Actually,
Hey,
Cannoli,
BC.
have you ever seen The Great Outdoors? Because I feel like this movie would be like right up your alley. I'm willing to bet 100% he's seen it. This is
Yeah,
definitely a Cannoli
I'm actually
Sasquatch film.
also. I'm also willing to bet that he's probably seen it at least once.
Yeah, he must have. Yeah, this definitely feels like a film that he would love. And if he hasn't, Cannoli Sasquatch, if you haven't, you better be watching this tonight.
Yeah,
right.
Cannoli, you better take a Ryoko and watch The Great Outdoors. Boom.
Yes, yes. And that goes to everyone listening. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it and watch it tonight and enjoy and laugh. And you'll have a good time. Trust me.
Cannoli says he's old. Of course, he's seen the movie.
Oh, definitely. Love this movie. I'm old. Fantastic. All right. Yes, you're old just like me. Yeah. This was a family staple growing up. Awesome. Coley's not seen the actual outdoors. Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, he's a Sasquatch.
I thought he's the Sasquatch. The Sasquatch lives outdoors, right? He shits
Well,
in the
maybe
woods.
maybe that's why you never see them. It's because they're always indoors.
Oh, that's why we never see the Sasquatch. They're homebodies.
Yep. It's a common misconception. You see, they're afraid of the
they're
sun.
afraid of the sun. That's right. Oh my god. Well, actually, the famous footage of the Sasquatch walking across the river was actually apparently, according to my dad, so which means it's probably not true, was filmed not far from where I grew up in a place called Harrison. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And every time we went skiing, we drive past this river. My dad said, that's the river right there where they filmed it. So
Man,
it looks like it. It looks just like it, but I'm sure there's 1,000 rivers that look just like it.
That's true. Yep.
All right. Well, let's kind of start skimming through the movie here. So I'm going to bring it on stage.
All right.
All right. Because that way we can kind of go through. This won't take too long, folks. All right.
Yeah, comedy movies never actually do unless they have like a ton of crazy substance, which not a ton of comedy movies do. Or if the comedy is just so tightly written, like something like the Cornetto trilogy, where you can like take hours to break down Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz just by highlighting how well it's written and how well the callbacks are made in like every single line not being wasted. But in general, comedy movies are just a nice breeze through.
You could breeze through so much faster because it's just like, here's this set piece and this is fun. Here's this set piece. This is fun, right? And that's that's one thing comedy movies and action movies have a lot in common is a good comedy movie and a good action movie. They have the set pieces. Yeah. And that's kind of what you watch them for. And obviously having a good story helps, but the story in the end is just kind of there as the framework to kind of string them together. Right? Because
how do we move on from one gag to the next? That was basically Monty Python in general. Like,
that's 100% what they were. It's just to get from one gag to the next, right? And the story doesn't really matter, right? Like I'm thinking like the meaning of life, right? That's just all just a bunch of gags.
And it's like at the end of the movie, it's just like, what is the meaning of life? Well, it means this. Have a great night. See you.
I guess we gotta get this over with, type of thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that this movie in general. Also, shout out to Howard Dutch, man. He
Yeah.
bagged Leah Thompson. So
Oh my God.
lucky man.
Yes, yes. I salute him. So yes, we're perfect way to open. Just the family driving up to the lake, right? It's just and again, this brings back the warm and fuzzies. Just being in the car with the family, and you're on your way up to the Ryoko Shimasu. You're doing your family trip. Yeah, and they got the good song, yakety yak, boom, 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 yakety yak, yakety, boom, boom.
Yak.
Yeah, and there we go. Oh, there's the ponderosa pines I'm talking about. Those good old trees,
Mm-hmm.
giving me the warm and fuzzies right now. And actually,
Parked.
this sequence here. Oh my God! Oh, I got picks up on. Oh, we got some. Oh, hello there, Vex. Thank you for joining in. Love dark
Yeah,
with dense forests and no streetlights.
dude,
That's right.
it's because
Oh my God.
that's basically just Vex's drive home. It's through
Yes,
like
yes.
the most horrendously dark, like nothing road whatsoever. And every time she sends me a video or something, I'm telling her like I'm gonna be armed to the teeth because listen, so many people go missing in the forest, man. And if I want to be attacked by a Wendigo, then I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be fighting back, man.
I always think of like that road in Batman, like the 1989 Batman
Yeah.
when he's driving back to the Batcave. There we go. That's the road home. Melvin, you haven't seen this in years, but you remember Dan Aykroyd is called Roman. It is a perfect name. I love the name Roman for him. Yeah, and but I recommend you watch this again, Melvin. It's so great. And we got some howdies going along. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
nice to
like,
have you all here
Roman,
today, active in the chat. Hopefully you're
Yeah.
enjoying it. This
Dude.
scene right here where they park the car. Now, as a kid, this is one of the first bloopers I ever noticed as a kid. Watch this here. They open the doors, and this is freaking hilarious.
God, I would have thought they made some improvements or something.
Did you see those wobbly? Did you see those wobbly trees? Are those not amazing?
The trees are very flexible this time of year.
Yes, yes. Let's look. Watch that one more
God, I would have
time.
thought they made some improvements or something.
All right. Parking the car. Boom. Watch this
Yep.
wobble. Bam.
Wobble, wobble.
Jeez, those are some rubber trees, ladies and
Jesus.
gentlemen.
Hollywood,
I love that.
Hollywood.
And that was like a classic thing for my family. Every time we watch this, we had to point that out. There's the wobbly trees. Boom, boom, boom.
Dude, like I didn't even notice it at first.
It's so cute. It's so fun. It's a good gag, but the wobbly trees to me just add a little extra on there. That's like a
It
Simpsons
goes to
gag.
show you like how much effort they actually put into just one. How many second like gag was it? Like
Just
a
for
10
1
second
2
gag?
second gag.
Yeah,
They got to put up all those trees, those prop trees. Yeah. Oh my God.
gotta
Here we are.
nick-
This is the
nick prop
check-in
trees, too.
counter. Oh, here's Roman driving up. I love it. And like again, showing this is the classic showing, not telling, introducing you to like their characters. Like Chet drives up, John Candy drives up in like the family truckster essentially. And here you got Roman, he's coming up in the nice Mercedes. They do like a few shots of like his like hands on the steering wheel, and he's got like rings and stuff on.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
just know the guy's pompous, like just right from the start. Awesome
You can
showing,
tell
not telling.
that he like he's rich. You can tell that he has money. He's just going there and he's trying to enjoy it. And I mean, even the first time that we meet what's his name, Wally, like
Yeah.
Wally's
Here's Wally.
there he is
Yes.
sitting on the car.
I love that. Wally, it's just the ultra laid back country guy. He just doesn't give a shit about anything. Oh man.
His dog is cool too.
Oh man, his dog was smelling the porcupine. Hates people, loves porcupines. She's in heat too. Too bad you're not a dog. That's one of my favorite lines. I love that so much. He's
Dude,
talking
one of
to-
my favorite lines is like in this scene where they're like, we spent we clean everything, we refurnished, but it was $300 not counting what we spent on Lysol. I was like,
right here. Yeah. We renovated the whole place. Yep. Sunk over $300 in her. That's the best.
dude, when I heard the Lysol, I was like, oh
Yeah.
god.
Not including what we spent on Lysol. Oh God, it's just the writing is so good for the gags, right? Like just and this little like it's like you got the joke and they just add that little cherry on the top. It's just so fun.
Yeah, even the actors, it's the way some of them have like incredible deadpan delivery when they do it,
Yes,
or they just say it in a way where it's just natural in their natural way of speaking. They don't
and
emphasize on the joke, and it works so well.
and you just totally believe this is something that this couple would say, right? And I love
Mhm.
I've been to Duluth, like even that shirt, like that's awesome. Like who the hell cares about Duluth? Oh, he's coming
uh,
up. Oh, there
those,
we go. Yeah, there's
oh yeah.
fishermen in the lodge before them, just pulling out all the fish. It's so gross.
I actually love this scene because the dynamic between Chet and Connie, I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's so realistic. This is a dynamic that you can 100% imagine. A nice established couple having,
Mhm.
especially when their kids not in the house or anything like that. It's like
Yeah, the kids are
even the
older. They're out of the
jokes,
house,
yeah, it's
venturing off
really
somewhere,
well.
right? Yeah, exploring the
Hmm.
town. And it's like, oh, we can have a little moment ourselves, a little play, a little fun. And then of course, here comes Roman. So yeah, so that's Chet's wife's sister, and Roman is his brother-in-law. So just to
Yes,
get the family dynamic down. And of course
yeah,
they
it's
come in.
Roman and Katie. That's what they
Yeah,
are.
Roman Katie, yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
he looks so perfect. This conversation sets it up too. It's like
Mhm.
he goes on his big, which I have. All right, let's do it. The best lines in this movie. I got him here. One second. So here we go. This is his monologue one. So they're looking out the lake.
Mhm.
I'll tell you what I see when I look out there. I see the undeveloped resources of Minnesota, North Wisconsin, and Michigan. I see a syndicated development consortium exploiting over $1.5 billion in forest products. I see a paper mill, and if strategic metals are there, a mining operation, a greenbelt between the condos on the lake, and a waste management facility focusing on the newest rage in toxic waste, medical refuse, infected bandages, body parts, IV tubing, contaminated glassware, entrails, syringes, fluids, blood, low-grade radioactive waste, all safely contained, sunk in the lake, and sealed for centuries. Now, I ask you, what do you see? This
I
is so
just see
awesome.
trees.
I just see trees.
I just see trees. It's
I
like
just see trees.
it's that perfect encapsulation of what these two characters are about once
Yes.
you have them together. It's like Craig is the rich guy that was they even state that he invited Chet multiple times on what they refer to as the islands.
Yes, yes. You can just imagine where the islands are, right? Like somewhere like fancy. And they
We're
just shows up uninvited here. They just pop in. I love that. Chet's gonna shit a solid gold brick.
and it's even the way that they just say stuff. So you have Roman, who's purely just from that monologue alone. He's a businessman, and even after that, he cooks lobster tail. And then Chet is just your average Joe that wants to make hot dogs. And it's like it's easy
Yeah.
food. It's
And I
there.
just noticed something here. Oh my God. Are those Star Wars glasses?
Where?
Look at the table. That's Jabba the Hutt. I swear, those are stormtroopers.
Oh shit! It does look like Star Wars glasses.
Those are Star Wars glassware. Oh my God. That's
Man,
awesome.
they're
Yeah.
probably
And
just having
like,
fun on set.
oh man. But and this set, though, like everything that's in this cabin is 100% what you find at these types of places when you stay at these type of
Oh
like
yeah.
condos or cabins.
Yep,
This is
yep,
all like,
100%, dude. I stayed at one about 2 years ago. Was the last time that I went at one. I stayed there for about 4 days, and it looked exactly like this, except that we didn't have the lake nearby. We had to walk for like 15 minutes to get to the lake, pretty much.
oh man. It's best when you're on the lakefront. But yeah, where we always stayed, we were about a 5 minute walk from the lake.
Mm,
And one thing I never noticed as a kid is it's actually kind of fall. I always pictured this as a summer movie, but
hmm.
then I realized they actually filmed this in the fall. A lot of trees are turning colors in this film.
And even they're wearing a ton of long sleeve clothes
Long sleeves,
all the
yeah, and
way through.
sweaters and
Yep,
stuff. He's got the nice lobster tails. He's not gonna
dude, the
have hot
lobster
dogs.
tails
No,
actually look good.
it
28
looks
bucks a
so
pop.
good.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
28 bucks a pop. Oh my god.
dude, for
He wanted us to eat
1988,
hot
that was
dogs.
expensive, dude.
I don't think what that would be today then. That 20 bucks a pop would probably be like 70, 80 bucks a pop now. That'd be
Ooh,
insane.
man, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He wanted to eat hot dogs. You know what those are made of? Lips and assholes.
Yeah, lips and assholes, which of course will be told by some little critters later on that it's made of lips and assholes too. Again,
100% believe you, Melvin. Yeah, I want to stay there too. Like this looked exactly like where I stayed as a kid. Oh man, I just want to
yeah.
hit the great outdoors right now myself.
Oh,
Love to
dude,
be staying there.
hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Then of course, Chet wants to get like a pontoon boat, but no, they're getting the jet boat. So here
Yeah,
we do. Here we
but
do set up a little bit of story, a
mm,
little like string the movie together. His bear story
mhm.
about the great when they were up there on their honeymoon, and it
The
was
great
attacking the house.
half scalped bear because
Oh
of a
yeah.
shotgun blast.
Bald headed bear because he shot it right and skimmed its scalp. And
Yep,
here we do get
scares the
and
shit out of everyone with this story
yeah,
too.
and here we do get also a little bit of a story thread here too. So there is set up with the twins is him not being the greatest father, or like not being able to relate to kids. Like he's his character, which again works, is like he's not warm, right? He's
He's
very
sort of egotistical, whereas he does what he thinks is best for his family, which you can
yeah
appreciate, but at the same time, he doesn't focus enough on his family. Whereas,
doesn't focus
he does
enough.
what is best in terms of like supporting them business wise, of course,
Yeah,
monetarily, but he's not there with them emotionally. That's the big issue of
yeah.
Dan
So
Aykroyd's character.
they do set this up, and this is a nice story thread that goes through the movie, and does pay off in the end. And I love this because after like Chet's scary bear story, he feels like he has to go need to talk to his daughters.
He has
And
to one
oh
it
my
up.
god, this is another one of his freaking amazing monologues. Good evening. How's it going? Listen, girls, as your father, I feel it incumbent upon me to set the record straight on the validity of the tale which Uncle Chet shared with us this evening. I know that a terrifying story like that, coming from the mouth of a recognized authority figure, could be traumatizing for kids like yourselves. Like it's so formal.
Yeah, it's
It's like he's doing a
incredibly
presentation.
formal.
I love it.
Incredibly formal. Especially like his kids are just looking at him too. And even in the scene just after where his
The
kids are
blank
looking at
stares
him.
looking at him.
Yeah, the blank stare is like, why are they always looking at me like this? Whereas they always look up to
Yeah.
Chet. Like whereas like Chet's kids always look up to him. So he has
Hail
that
Rod
sort of
Thunderheart.
hey, Rod
Glad you're
Thunderheart.
here, buddy.
Hey,
Hope you must enjoy the great outdoors, Rod Thunderheart. This is right up your alley too. I know you're from Alberta. I'm from BC, and if there's anything that we can relate to, it's the summer vacation to the cabin.
dude, Rod
Oh man.
Thunderheart, great t-shirt on the picture, man. Great
Oh yeah,
t-shirt.
Rod's great. And I love this, and he continues here. I know that because I had a similar experience with my uncle Roy and a story he used to tell about a family who went into the woods and was attacked by a band of escaped Army psychiatric patients who've been subject to violent, hellish, torturous behavior modification experiments. It seems they escaped from the metal boxes the Army kept them in, found his family in the woods, fell upon them, slaughtered them, and ate them. Now that's a story. Gave me nightmares, not to be believed. Well, I thought that Uncle Chet's story upset you in the same way. I'm here to say that there's actually no bear, and that all that Uncle Chet was saying was just a yarn spinning for our entertainment. And even if it was a bear out there, I'm in the house to protect you. So no more thinking about bears, all right? No more thinking about unpleasant things. We're going to close our eyes and dream about nice things. Cuddly, soft, fluffy things, okay? Super. Good night, sleep tight. I love that, especially after
The cut.
it's yeah. It's just like he tells him like a 10 times more horrific tale. Just to
Well, he
calm them
tells them a
down.
10
Yes.
times more like horrific and realistic tale. Where it's
Realistic
like,
tale, yeah.
yeah, and you just like cut to them in the morning with their eyes wide open. You can tell
Yes,
them
they're
they did
still
not
awake.
close their eyes at all that whole night, dude.
Oh, it's so great, man. Those are like yeah, Dan Aykroyd, two of the greatest monologues right there. And like even just reading that right now, I'm just like thinking about like memorizing that and let's like trying to nail that monologue
Mm.
would be it takes talent. Yeah, there they are. They're
Yeah,
just
there they
that's
are.
them the whole night.
The alien presence,
Yes,
apparently,
yes.
the twins. But it's also like during that scene where Dan Aykroyd is being very formal with the kids. It does raise up a point that I want to bring where nobody in this film is unlikable at all.
No,
Everyone
he's
is
he's still
likable,
very likable.
understandable.
He's still
Yeah,
very likable. He's just awkward around children, right?
and
And it
it's quite
shows.
rare to have that. That's the issue. Like, it's quite rare to have no, how do I say it? Like, no opposing force, no direct opposing force in a
Yeah,
film like
there's no real villain in this. I'd say the bear is the closest thing to the villain in this
that.
movie. Yeah,
That's
and
true. Yeah,
the
or maybe
raccoon's empty out.
I think Wally might be the villain, dude.
Wally,
Yeah, he has a resort where bears can just jump on your car, where kids can run off into mines and almost die. It's like, yeah, Wally
he
is who he wants.
recommends people to go to the garbage dump to look at bears.
Yep, Wally is
Oh
the
man,
true businessman of the situation.
look at that 1988 the 1988 cell phone.
Cellular phone. They didn't even call them cell phones. Cellular
That's
phone. You have
crazy.
to
That's
have a
crazy to
cellular.
have that. In the 88, man, that must be like one of the first models ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dang.
I wonder how much they go for these days. I wonder if they could
Yeah.
actually make them work these days, or
I've always
if,
wanted to do that. Try to get one to work again on like a network today. So
yeah,
yeah,
because
there's
I don't know if the technology would allow you to. Like, today's connection technology would
yeah,
allow you to pass a normal would allow you to
you'd
pass
have
a
to
normal
do a
call.
lot of modifications.
Oh yeah.
So here we have some good family father-son moments. His son's getting older. He wants to go off, do his own thing, right? Instead of going out in the boat, right?
Mhm.
So I like that too. It's also a lot of there's some of that classic John Hughes coming of age comedy in this too, right? Like the
Mhm.
family dynamics. Oh my god, great skit. He's trying to teach the kid how to do. Oh, he's going. Oh, Chet's going.
Yep.
Okay,
And
boom,
boom.
just takes him out.
And I
It's
love
so
how it's done, like, practically. It's no green screen, nothing. You can clearly see that it's John Candy out there being dragged in the fucking lake.
yes, through. It's so much fun. It's like over the boats, through the oh frick, through the reeds there.
Mhm.
Just like tortures him across the lake. And I love this scene here where he's like, that's it, I'm going home. I'm done. I'm done. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Gecko.
Gordon Gekko, yeah. I mean, kind of, actually. Roman is kind of like a low budget
Yes.
Gordon Gekko.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also funny when you remember when Roman asked Chet what he sees
What he
out there.
sees
Yes,
out there.
Rod, we did that line just before you came here, But you know what? For you, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again for Rod. All right. Yes. All right, Rod.
Rod,
Here we
this one's
go.
for you.
One of the best quotes ever. I'll tell you what I see when I look out there. I see the undeveloped resources of Minnesota, North Wisconsin, and Michigan. I see a syndicate development consortium exploiting over $1.5 billion in forest products. I see a paper mill, and if the strategic metals are there, a mining operation, a greenbelt between the condos on the lake, and a waste management facility focusing on the newest rage and toxic waste, medical refuse, infected bandages, body parts, IV tubing, contaminated glassware, entrails, syringes, fluids, blood, low-grade radioactive waste, all safely contained, sunken in the lake, and sealed for centuries. Now I ask, what do you see?
I just see trees.
There you go. That was for you, Rod. Yes, one of the greatest quotes ever.
And it's such like a simple versus I don't know what the hell you're even talking about, man. Like,
Yeah.
let's relax. We're on vacation.
Chet's just there to relax and enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah, and even like
Oh,
the worst part is that Roman came unannounced completely to tag along
that's the
into
best.
Chet's bungalow too. So my guess is already how the hell did Roman know that Chet rented a place big enough for their both like of
Oh,
their
that's
family?
funny too. Yeah, that's true. He doesn't know he's got enough space for them, but it's like whatever. We're
Yeah.
going up anyway. We're gonna crowd them if need be.
I mean,
And here,
technically, he doesn't have a choice because, as he says, like later on in the movie with the financial problems and stuff. So if he had actually
yes,
gone
see,
there
that
and
actually
it
works out
wasn't big
too.
enough, like, yeah, exactly.
That he has to, that he doesn't have the money for a vacation anymore, right? Like that kind of might show out too. It's see, look, see, this movie's fallen more together the more you think about it. A lot of stuff is set up, and
It's John Hughes, man. It's John Hughes.
yeah, and like even here, he's setting up the Wally's bringing the twins back here and saying they've been playing around the mine, so we're setting up the existence of the mine. So stuff is set up.
Yep.
Remember
And they
when
really
remember when
emphasize on the on the mind stuff. Like they
yeah
take a proper 2 minutes to really emphasize on the
yeah
mind because it becomes very relevant at the end.
yeah Remember when they used to actually care about screenwriting?
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Especially John Hughes, dude. I feel like John Hughes still is underappreciated to this day
Oh man, how many
because of
classics under his
how
belt?
exactly, and not even that. Like, it's also the fact of how fast he wrote them. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, he could write a movie in a week, and the movie could be like a 9 out of 10 objectively. It's crazy.
Okay, now this proves my point. Does that not look like Fred Savage? I always thought Ben, the younger
It
kid
actually
here,
does.
was Fred Savage, and it shocks me. Like in my mind, I just remember that being Fred Savage, and I'm shocked that it's not.
It actually is. Like,
This is a. Oh yeah,
it
yeah,
does look like him, but I feel like the issue is that, like, since you're young, when you're young, you don't really have so many actors in your head, so
yeah.
you automatically associate it. But they look, it's basically a carbon copy.
Family gossip. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. He was riding the Fred Savage wave. Yes. Yeah. You agree too, Rod? Does that not look like
Yep.
Fred Savage? That's like his.
Yeah,
That
you
would
can
totally be
literally
like his brother.
you literally just Google a Fred Savage picture when he was young. It looks exactly like him.
Yeah, yeah. And this gag's great. And here's where they say he's the oldest man in Canada. So again, it's so nebulous to where this movie takes place.
Technically,
Oh,
he isn't even the oldest man in Canada. He's already dead. You know, it's like
Yes. I love that. Get a cute picture of them kissing him.
kiss him on the cheek. Yeah, kiss him on
Yeah.
the cheek.
Bill died on the way here in the car. What?
It's like wash up. Go to the bathroom. Wash up.
Yeah. And here we start to introduce. There we go. We start to introduce the summer romance.
Yeah, the
And-
weakest part of the movie.
The weakest part of the movie. And I remember my family, we always kind of just wanted to get through these scenes with the romance.
Mhm.
But the funny thing is, I totally relate to it because the cabin that we went to as a kid, again, it was kind of like one of these type of air quotes resorts.
Mhm.
And I remember I had summer romances there. And in fact, I lost my flower on one of those
Ooh.
summer romances.
Nice.
Yeah. To a girl from Iceland.
Wow. That's a
She was
really good first choice.
Yes, she was visiting her family was visiting Canada. She was from Iceland. Really stacked. It was amazing. But I'm just
Ooh.
like, I thought, how many people have been with an Icelandic person? So boom.
Dude, well, like, actually, whenever you go to these like summer resort places, there's just, especially when you're younger, there's so many people who have like just flings for a week or two.
Yeah.
And it's just all right, you know, it's cool. And even she says it. She says the longest relationship she's ever been
Thank
in
you,
was like
Rod.
2 weeks.
Really, eh? Oh yeah, man. Yeah, if you're a resident there, right? You just have nonstop flings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, photos are
Or it didn't happen. Well, I got to try what year this was. This must have been 2002. So there are
oh man.
photos, but I have to dig up a computer that I haven't used in probably in about 20 years. So
Jesus.
I'll get on that. Yeah. Get on that. Don't worry. Oh, yeah. And okay, here's something as a Canadian that what the hell is a Zagnut bar?
I don't even know, dude.
There must be a couple Americans in the chat here. Have you ever had a Zagnut bar? Like, because I've seen these in so many movies, especially from the 80s and the 90s. They bring up Zagnut bars. I never, like Beetlejuice has a Zagnut bar. He pops up the Zagnut bar.
Yep.
I never ate one. I don't know what the hell it is.
I'm familiar with the packaging, but the like I know it's peanut butter and what's it called? Grilled coconut. Like it's basically just peanut butter with grilled coconut sprinkled on top. That's what I think it is.
Okay, so
but
it's terrible.
I've never ever tasted. I don't like peanut butter in general, so I could never eat the Zagnut.
Population of Iceland is only 394,470. Exactly. So I've laid with, that's the highest race. It's the highest ratio of people I've laid with that country by default for any other country. That's right.
Dude, you sleep with 20 people in Iceland, you slept with like 2% of the
Oh my
population.
God. Actually, I got to tell a bit of a story about this one. Oh my God, but the Icelandic girl. So it's my first time having sex, and I'm maybe a little too excited. And the you know, actually, I'm gonna hide this story just because I don't. Well, you know what? If I did have a child, they would be like in their 20s now, so maybe it's not so bad. But let's just say there was an accident with the the preventative device that I bought. Maybe it wasn't the highest quality. And after this happened, I was worried. She said, "Don't worry. When I go back, if I'm pregnant, I'll blame my boyfriend." So yes. So to those out there, yes, I did. My attempt was to use. I was using preventative measures, but they failed.
We were trying to use the proper protection, but
I
remember,
was using the
protection
proper
is
protection.
only
Yes.
99% working all
Yes,
the time,
yes.
you know. So
And I was the
there's that
1% that time.
1%.
Yes.
Listen, maybe there's a mini fermented cinema in Iceland somewhere.
There might be a
just
little mini fermented cinema coming from Iceland. Yes.
Mhm.
So who would be about 22 now, about 22 or 23.
Oh, well, you're lucky. I was born in 2002, but not in Iceland. So
Oh, I was gonna say, are
there
you
you
my
go.
son? There we go. It's serendipitous we came together. Is your stacked? I don't. I hate to ask that question, but
Look, Melvin says that's me. I'll tell you a story. Actually, no, I won't tell you that story.
Oh well, I can write a movie script on this one. This is a great comedy sequence here. It's just the bears on the car. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's kind of how they it reminds me of a story of when me and my friend, we wanted to go like urban exploring. You know what urbex is, right?
Yeah.
We just like go into those abandoned places. And so me and my friend, we were just like we arrived at the place. So there were three of us. We arrived at the place and
No Rod.
yeah. So we arrive at the place and we just pull up in the car. We turn off the engine and everything. We're ready to go. Keep in mind, this is at like 1 a.m. We're going into an abandoned house that's like disheveled. Like it's a huge place. And once we pull up, we look at it. We see how dark and creepy the place looks. I look at my friend. No one speaks. I look at my friend. He looks at me. I look at the other friend. We all look at each other. No one speaks. We just put our seatbelts back on. He turns on the car and we drive away. It reminded me of this scene exactly with the bears, where they're like, "Yeah, nothing's wrong, but let's leave. Let's leave.
Let's just get out of here. Yeah, I think it's enough. Oh, I'm pooped, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired. I could use some sleep."
Oh, look here. I never noticed this in the background of the shot. There's another summer romance going
Oh
on.
yeah, summer romance is everywhere. The John Hughes
man.
specialty.
Do they really even have summer romances anymore? With like how people date these days, everything is.
No, I mean they still do in places where, like, if you go to like a camping resort or something like that, you still have summer flings, but it's just as common in the real world, like in your everyday life nowadays.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like that it's all set up beforehand before you go now. Like you'll get on Tinder or whatever. You're like, okay, match these people before I get there. So just kind of know.
Yeah.
So much magic is lost in the art of seduction.
Well, people don't know how to do it anymore, man. Like,
no, they don't know how to approach people and just talk to them.
Well, even people don't like being approached nowadays anyways. So it's sort of a lose-lose situation where if you have the courage to approach someone, they'll either, one, freak the fuck out, or two, they'll just be like, "Oh yeah," then they'll leave.
I'm so glad I grew up when I did.
Right.
Just when we had enough technology to have fun, but not so much where overran everything we did.
Exactly.
And we got a good father-son bonding moment again out on the lake. Oh yeah, the raccoons. They keep trying to outsmart them, but these raccoons know what's what.
Yeah, talking raccoons.
A little more with the romance. He's setting up another date. Here we just get some good summertime like fun gags. Like and where I went to too, it had the go-karts, it had like the horse ride, and so he gets hit in the nose by freaking Roman's golf ball. That son of a
and it also highlights the differences in their characters. Roman is alone golfing while John Candy is out there with his family having fun. And even when they're all together, like both families, Roman is still ahead of the pack alone. It's like,
he's and this guy's cowboy hat. I love his outfit here. But poor John Candy gets the worst horse.
Dude, this is literally my favorite scene of the entire movie
Really,
because
eh? You like that's what, eh?
you can tell that John Candy was probably actually tiring the horse out, and so his reaction is so genuine when he's like, "Listen, it's a deal. You walk, I walk. We just go
Yes,
back to the
yes.
stable, and it's done. Like that's it." It's so
Oh
good.
man, is that real, Rod Thunderheart? That's in Ontario. That's awesome. I got
I
to get
mean,
myself there one of
it
these
is
days.
Paul Bunyan, man.
Yeah,
He's basically
tourist
the
place. Yep.
national treasure.
It is funny how these tourist places are all the same. They have all the same activities, all the same stuff done.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, you're right. This scene is great. This is how he's just trying to negotiate with the horse. And just
It's so good, and the way that he just pops out looking like Jack Nicholson from the forest.
does
It's
he
like,
not look like Jack Nicholson here? He looks so haggard. It looks like Jack Nicholson. It looks like that shot of Jack Nicholson when he's like on the boat with his shirt off.
Mhm. Yeah, then it's just like, he pops up. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. It's like, why? Yeah, I'm going home. I'm slumped. I'm tired. I'm done.
And here we go on this romance scene again. I do remember as a little kid, my dad, whenever he watched the scene, he's like, "Listen, girl, he's gonna forget about you a week after he gets home."
It's true.
It's so
It's
true.
true.
Yeah,
And
but
even
that's
like
how it works.
we even kind of glossed over the way that they met. It was they were playing pool, and then he
Oh
he
yeah,
accidentally put the pool cue between her thighs since the pool tables are really close together. And then
yeah.
it's like she got pissed off and left because and that's then he went to chase her back, and I was like, all right, cool, I guess.
And all their meeting up and everything they're doing is without phones. They haven't even exchanged phone numbers, right? They just
Yeah, they
use
just said
use.
they set a location and a date, which is like after when they go to the restaurant to eat the 96er.
Oh yeah,
That's why he keeps looking at his watch so that he doesn't miss the time of the date.
yeah. Oh yeah, and that's like one of the best scenes is the 96er. So we're
Oh
almost the
yeah.
96er, which is freaking fantastic. Here we introduce this is a good like little bar scene where you get kind of like now that the honeymoon period's over, you kind of get Chet and Roman kind of nipping at each other a little bit here, right? A little back
Yeah.
and forth. And then
It's,
but then
Roman
they
is sort
meet.
of overstaying his welcome.
Yeah, type of feeling. Yeah, you can definitely feel
Mm.
that. When like John Candy kind of wants to escape him, right? He's just always there. And then they meet this guy here with his Reg. It's been struck by lightning 66 times.
67 later on.
That's right. Yes. How many
It's
times
just
is it
like
now, Reg?
it's just
Yeah.
one shot of him getting struck by lightning, and you're like, oh god, this dude can never catch a break.
He ain't done
He ain't
yet.
done yet.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I love that. What do you mean he ain't done? There's nothing on that plate but gristle and fat. Gives him the big stare down. It's like if we can throw a dessert down him, can the kids get Paul Bunyan hats? And she's talking here about how lonely it is because Roman's always working and she has to sit on the spin cycle of the washing machine.
Yeah.
Now that's a joke as a kid that I did not understand. That I definitely
The spin
understand.
cycle
now.
washing machine.
Yeah. What does that mean, mommy and daddy? Nothing. Just like, she's jilling it on the freaking spin cycle.
And it's like it's just like it's incredible because every single time that they're on screen they emphasize on how the relationship between Roman and his family is very fragile. And even then, like, because even in this scene where she's like, oh, don't touch it, like it touched me, it's like it's been touching you for 12 years.
12 years. You haven't screamed. Not you, that. Got the bat in the house.
And it's a tiny
2-pounder.
bat. Dude.
Wow.
It's a really tiny bat.
It's so cute. I know. They're like, it's a 2-pounder. Wow. Look at the gear they go in to get it.
What are the bat sizes that you have in Japan? If you guys have any like proper bats? over there?
Just a cute little bat.
Oh, kind of like the European
Yeah.
bat, like tiny bats.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah, just cute little bats. Yeah.
Man, like where I
Sure
grew
he's
up,
still on the last bite, but it'll go down.
it'll go down. Yeah,
That ain't
That
the
ain't the
last bite.
dude. Like me,
All right, I'm glad you love
when
this
I was
movie.
growing up, the bats can scare the shit out of you because the bats are absolutely huge. Like the bats are literally the size of my keyboard.
Damn.
Even bigger. Like they're massive. And at night,
Whereabouts are
once-
you again? I thought you're
So I'm in France, but I
Yeah,
grew
yeah,
up
you're in
in
France.
I
Yeah, I
grew
didn't
up
know
in
France.
Ghana. I grew up in Ghana,
Oh,
which is in West
okay.
Africa.
Yeah,
So over
yeah.
there we have like proper African bats, and those are huge.
You know
And
what's
keep in
hilarious?
mind, like at around let's say 5:30 to 6 p.m. when like the sun is going down, all of
Yeah.
the bats stay in one specific location in the middle of the city. They're all hanging on their trees in the middle of the city. So if you're passing there during the day, you can clearly hear and see them. But
Oh my
once it
God.
hits 5:30 to 6 p.m., they every single one of them leave. So you'll have like hundreds of thousands of bats flocking over your head every single night for about 30 to 40 minutes as they go out
That's
to
cool
hunt
though, man.
after.
That's a cool sight to see.
Oh yeah, dude!
Evil hours of yes.
You would see it literally every single day. I
Like
saw it every single day for about 20 years, dude.
I gotta tell
Legitimately.
you two things. I haven't been to Ghana, but
Mm.
I spent 2 months in Senegal. So
Ooh,
yeah. So we'll talk about this one day. That'll be a
same
different
size
stream.
bats, dude.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
size bats for
yeah.
sure.
Same size bats. And
I
the
even
other
have a
thing is,
video of me getting attacked by a bat.
I love this here where he's like, he was a fighter, but we got to
Yep.
get some sleep.
Oh
Gives him
yeah.
one last
Oh.
smack just to put it down. But
And this is also where you start to see the proper rift between John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, whereas
yeah,
he's really getting pissed off at Dan Aykroyd's antics, whereas he
oh yeah,
wasn't
everything.
invited. It's his he has to deal with the bat, whereas Dan Aykroyd was saying, "Hey, I was gonna deal with it," and it's like, nope, it's really
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah, yeah. He like volunteers Chet to go in first for him, and
Mhm.
here we go. Here she is, the old 96er. Dun, 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 dun. Oh
The
my god, that
96er.
steak. Yeah, and there he is checking his watch. There we go. There's Fred Savage. There's not Fred Savage with his eyes wide. Oh, good God. Dun, 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 dun. I love the soundtrack, the music here. That they do like the yum
Yeah,
sound.
I think it was
Like
Thomas Newman that made the soundtrack.
yeah, it's a good track here. Oh, there we go. They got he just looks so haggard and so full. Oh my god.
Dude,
There
the
we go.
steak
What
is
do you mean?
huge.
There's just fat and gristle left on that plate. There we go. Here we go. Well, sure it is. There's nothing on that plate but fat and gristle supplied to us there by one Rod Thunderheart. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rod. And of course, like even the crowd sort of agrees with him because when he takes that last bite, they all cheer. So that
Yeah,
is for
yeah,
sure
yeah.
the last bite.
Everyone thinks it's done, but it's like he ain't done. Yeah, and the
Could you,
glowers.
do you think you could do the 96er, the old 96er steak?
Oh, not anymore. Not anymore.
Ooh,
Maybe
wow.
when I was like 20, I could do the 96er, but like now, nope. I've tried. I've
I
gone back to all you can
think
eat buffets, and I just can't do it anymore. It's like I used to.
I
This
think I
is
could do it. Ah,
really, oh man, you're a little younger than me, so you'll get there one day. Yeah. Oh man, this is so funny. And this part here too, it's so gross because like the raccoons are in the trash again. And Dan Aykroyd just says, "Look at the maggots on that meat." Fucking triggers John Candy to spew it all out. It's
and
so
they all leave
gross.
the house too. They're just like, well,
And here they are after doing the early morning fishing, but of course everyone just falls asleep. And
I even wonder
get
how
them.
like I think they sort of just put like a filter on the on the footage to make
Yeah,
it seem like 5 a.m.
I was looking at that and I was like, you know what? I think this is the best day for night shot I've ever seen. It actually somewhat convincingly looks like it's obviously vignetted and it's convincingly looks like it's early morning time.
Yep.
So bravo on that one. All the
Especially in the
leeches
great
are on them.
outdoors. Yeah, leeches. They all fell asleep too.
Yeah, and here's a big part of the annual camping or cabin trip we had is we always got one rainy day. You always got one stormy rainy day where everything's different and you're all just trapped in the cabin together, right? And that's when the board games come out. That's when you light the fire. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, it
and
happened to
this
me
is
once, but we had like a caravan, like an RV, and
yeah.
it
Oh, nice.
flooded, like everything flooded. It was
Oh,
horrible,
really?
dude. Yeah, like you woke up in the morning, you step outside thinking it's normal, and then it's like mud. You just slip and fall into mud. All your pajamas done. I was like,
I
oh man.
my dad and I we weren't in a caravan or in a cabin, but we were camping. This was in Saskatchewan, just
Mm,
out of Regina. And I still remember the name of the campground was King Acres Campground. and it's just off the highway, the number one. And we saw this thunderstorm like way off in the distance at night, and you just see we just like it's flat there, horizon goes on forever, and you just see like the flicker of lightning flashes far away. We're like, all right, went to bed. Turns out like an hour later, that's 2 hours later, we're asleep. That storm came right above, pissed rain, and just torrential. We were so soaked, we were like flooded inside our tent, so we had to sleep in the trunk.
God.
And then, of course, here look at all the expressions here. Yeah, this is totally when they're cooped up together. They're stuck inside the cabin together. Now they're on each other's nerves. He's like, you got to twist it. You got to twist it. Well, Roman, why don't you do it? And it's just like,
it's also like a really nice touch that this happens on a rainy day because they're forced to be cooped up. It's like, I don't think another writer would think of this, you know.
It's because it's like so natural. This is like when it happens, right? It's on these types of days, and like you can't really leave the cabin.
You know, and of course, you know, they're playing Monopoly and stuff. Whereas, you know, that's kind of what Roman does. Monopoly.
That would definitely be Roman's suggestion to play Monopoly. Definitely. And then of course, why don't you just blow the whole family out your ass? That's probably his best line in the movie for Ben. Don't you know what we're trying to say? Yes, you're saying that Uncle Roman and Aunt Katie are just huge buttheads. Exactly.
Just like, does that mean that we're not going to get presents from Uncle Roman this year?
Shut up, Danny. And then this is where he says, I actually came up here to offer you like an investment deal. So this is kind of like plot proper stuff now in the movie. And then he uses this like
it makes sort of everything relevant that happened before. I like how it just recontextualizes all the events that you saw prior in the film. It's really, really good, and they rarely do recontextualizations in comedy films.
No, it's good. Like it's like all this character growth and stuff. And again, a lot of this stuff's been set up, and it makes sense for the characters. And then of course Roman uses kind of a sob story on him because he knows that Chet is a sensitive guy, so to get him to sign him over the cash, right?
The cash that he doesn't really have.
Yeah,
but he'll still do it anyway because it's family. So he wants to help family because he's just a good guy.
And this is when now the guilt is starting to weigh on Roman as they're driving back, which I like. It's kind of where his character has, you know, his character especially, Roman's character especially, has the biggest story arc in this. In this film. So he has a decent arc here. He turns back.
I like how it doesn't really just pop out of nowhere. You can clearly see that it's something that's been itching at him since the beginning of the film. Like since they arrived there and he saw Chet, you can clearly see that the dynamic that he has with his family has been itching away at him. And
because it's also kind of jealousy, right? It's also a little jealousy in there. And because he even mentions like how Chet's kids look up to him like he's Zeus, but they look at me like I'm a rack of yard tools at Sears.
And like I feel like it's the fact that the fact that she's saying all of this to him in front of the kids after Roman basically said that Chet said that he was a slimy dude. What he does, even if it was a fake statement, what he's doing right now is kind of confirming it in front of his two daughters. Which I think is also what really hurts him to the point where he wants to turn back.
Yeah, definitely, right? Because he just did kind of a scam in front of his kids and to family, right? So and that kind of even
the family
he now
that
feels
took him in when
too far for him.
They didn't even need to.
And they comes back, rips up his check, and explains to everyone that they're actually broke.
The fake Rolexes, everything.
I'm just wearing a blue jumper suit now. And then we get this
every morning.
And then the emotional climax here, we got the twins. They go into the cave here. It's just dynamite. Wet old dynamite. Don't worry. This is like the scariest thing ever.
It's all right. It's wet old dynamite. It's cool. It's livable. It's survivable. It's nothing.
Sitting on boxes of dynamite.
You know.
Oh, it's great.
It's kind of like in Pearl Harbor, where the guy is like, "Oh, it's a dud. It's a dud. It's a dud. Don't worry, it's a dud." Then boom, it's like
boom, explodes. And then this is where Roman, like, he really strengthens up and he rescues his daughters. Of course, Chet gets there a little late. He's got the rope. The bear's down in there, pulls up the bear. And this is where we get our huge comedic payoff.
This is the scene that inspired Jurassic Park, ladies and gentlemen. You see
Yes,
where
yes.
Dodson, when he's just going down there, getting assaulted by whatever.
This is definitely Dennis Nedry.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Melvin. It's Annette Bening. Yeah,
Yes,
she's Roman's wife. She's
Dan
Katie.
Aykroyd's wife.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's that actually surprised me too, because I never realized that until I got old. Like, I realized that about a decade ago. As a kid, I didn't really know who Annette Bening was. There we go. Got to get the good proper spelling in there for respect.
Yeah.
Big bear. Yeah, Big Bear needs a big sandwich. Big Bear, chase me.
Boom. I love the way like the door falls down on him and he just falls straight down, not even on his knees or anything, just face down directly.
And here's the best thing about older movies, because this is what I freaking hated about Prey, the new Predator movie. CG stupid bear. We got a real bear in this house. We got a real bear. We're doing real stunts with a real bear. That looks so much better than any stupid CG bear.
Yeah. Train bear. Nice train bear.
Yeah. And then we got the best ending ever here where he shoots the bear. There we go. There's his bear butt. Shoots it right in the ass with the lamp gun, which is established in the first scene in the movie when they're checking in.
Check out that lamp gun, kids. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, and I love the way that he has to plug in the lamp gun to the wall.
Yeah, he plugs it in. He plugs it in. That's right. You got to plug it in. Yeah.
You got to plug it in. It's like, where are you plugging it in? It's already loaded. It's like...
And they're going to write each other. And this is the little surprise ending with Uncle Roman. Race you home.
Race you home.
Race you home. We don't live in the same city. It's just until he gets back on his feet. What's that? So Roman's going to be meeting him at home.
Oh, yeah. And
so great.
I love the the ending with all of them just having fun. It's something that I sorely miss from comedy movies today is bloopers or fun moments like this at the end of your movies. I mean, Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3 were some of the best culprits of this, where you had so much extra fun stuff at the end of the movies during the credits. Even this is just, it's a nice feel-good time.
Just them just goofing around probably at the end of the shoot, right? Just having a good time. And it's just so fun to see. Everyone's
Probably
there.
like
main cast, supporting cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's a good movie. Just a good movie. All right.
Man, R.I.P. John Candy, R.I.P. John Hughes.
It's so sad that we've lost both John Candy and John Hughes now. Yeah, it's Dan Aykroyd's still with us, luckily, but he's into his alien stuff now.
Oh yeah, he's back. He's an ancient alien dude nowadays.
Yeah, and talking about RIPs, we have to do
In Memoriam.
In Memoriam.
Yeah,
are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go.
Anybody home?
Bill died in a car on the way over here.
Jesus, Dad!
He's on my face! He's on my face!
He was something.
Bon appetit.
He's been struck by lightning. How many times is it now, Reg?
66 times.
Like, share, subscribe.
Did you hear that?
All right, there we
Dude,
go.
I love the noise that the bear makes after getting shot.
Yes. The bear noise scream is so great. First of all, remember with the funny outtakes at the end was Cannonball Run.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's right. They do have that.
man, I
I
haven't seen
remember
Cannonball Run since I was a kid.
a good one for me is Grumpy Old Men. Grumpy Old Men has a good outtakes reel at the end as well. Yeah, I used to love doing that. If
Man.
in the chat for the old 96er.
Yeah,
I
dude.
know, man.
The old 96er, it's been there for a while, man. No one had eaten it in her lifetime, the waitress
Yes.
said.
Oh, not since I've been here. The bear groans. I know the bear sound is the best sound.
You can clearly tell it's a human that was just trying
Yeah.
to imitate a bear screaming. They're like,
And I
dude,
love it just
we need
echoing
a
throughout the
bear.
whole woods. Just
and like the bear ass kind of looks really, really good.
oh, it does look good. In fact, that shot is so amazing. It's so beautiful.
It looks so good, man.
Oh my
Please,
god.
people in the chat and people watching, do not take us out of context when we say the bear ass looks
The bear
really
ass
good.
looks
Okay,
damn good, I tell you right now.
okay.
That was your blaster pass. Yeah, and that I guess I'll quickly sum up my 5 favorite jokes. My first favorite joke is just the intro of the couple taking care of the lodges. Just this whole sequence is so fun, and the dog that
so
loves
snappy.
porcupines.
Yeah, the dialogue is incredibly snappy between the two of them,
Yeah.
and you don't even see what's her name, Juanita. You don't even see Juanita that much.
Yeah, you don't see her much after this. Yeah. The bear fought Jason the Terrible Stampede wrestling years before the movie. The bear's been around, I tell you. And then of course, I love the jet ski. The whole jet ski moment is so great when he's just water skiing.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where it's what solidifies this as a nice summer family movie. You always have to have an aquatic activity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just so well done, and the whole sequence is so fun. I love when he's just like, "You bastard, you bastard." What's he saying? Go faster, go faster. All right.
It's like you got to put it in first. It's a neutral.
Oh, yeah.
Drops out of the ocean. Like,
Oh god. Yeah, and then the bear dump scene always gets me to laugh. And don't worry, folks, the old 96ers here. Yes,
the old 96er.
96er.
Oh, man.
That's a joke.
That's a juicy piece of meat, man.
Great sequence, funniest things. And then, of course, how could I not have? There's the light bulb at the end of the gun. It's so great. The great bear ass.
Oh
my god. How about you? What would you say are your top gags?
Honestly, top gag for me, I think the bear ass is one of them. I think I'll give you top 3. I think the bear ass is number 3, sorry. Number 2 would probably be the like just the line that he says to her where it's been touching you for 12 years. You've never said anything because it just came out of nowhere. I was like,
it touched me.
And the number 1 would have to be the horse scene with John Candy.
Oh, you love the horse, yeah.
Dude, it made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh man.
I love when he snaps the twig off of the tree. All right, I didn't want to do this, and the horse just bolts. It's gone.
Yeah, but those are like my top 3 gags of the thing. I feel like there's so many good, really witty one-liners in this film that are so good. Oh,
what would be your final rating on the film? So for me, I'd say the comedy in this is 10 out of 10. But as we said, like even though actually going over it now, there actually are a lot of good setups and payoffs. That definitely has good setups and payoffs. It's a little uneven with the story threads, as we said, like with the summer romance with his elder son, and kind of the whole thing with the mine could have been, even though they did establish it, it could have been a little more involved beforehand, right?
Yeah.
but I'd still say on average, I'd give this film an 8 out of 10.
Oh,
Give myself
nice.
an 8 out of 10 because it's just so much fun to watch, and it's really easy to rewatch. Like, this film is always fun to rewatch, and it never overstays its welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a very, very, very nice 7 out of 10, just for the fact that it is 91 minutes in and out, really quick, very snappy dialogue. It does not take time to just stay on certain elements. There's a lot of show, don't tell. There's so many great performances from almost every single person in the cast.
The performances really sell the film. Yeah.
Mhm.
Matt Penny, 96 out of 100. Oh my God. There we go. That's perfect. Thank you, Matt Penny. And happy to have you here too. I love that. Yes. Rod, 10 out of 10. You know, Rod, I can totally respect that. And I'd say for me, emotionally, this is a 10 out of 10. Yes. For me, emotionally, is a 10 out of 10 because I love this movie. And yeah, definitely the setups and payoffs are well written, and the characters are perfect. I'm just doing my super objective review is an 8 out of 10, but definitely emotionally, this gets a 10 out of 10 because it's such a warm and fuzzy hug, this movie, every time.
Oh yeah, dude. I can imagine. It's just so nice. This is a comfort film where even I could just sit down and rewatch it any day of the week. Any day.
Yeah. And yeah, I know. And 7 out of 10 is still a good review. Like, that's still a good movie. Even 6 out of 10s are still good movies. You don't really start getting into questionable content until you're like at 5.
To me, when it gets to 4.5, that's where it starts to be questionable. 5, I can accept because sometimes movies are objectively 5s, but can still be enjoyable. You know?
Yeah.
But when it gets to 4, it means that it's not even enjoyable anymore.
Exactly,
it's just
right.
pure trash.
Yeah, that's when it becomes garbage. And like a 3 or 2 is just it's just painful. But yeah, it's I believe I gave like Dante's Peak a 6 out of 10. But I love Dante's Peak. It's still so much fun to watch. Yeah,
I literally watched The Day After Tomorrow this afternoon.
Yeah, there we go. There's a guilty pleasure. Right?
Exactly, it's an absolute guilty pleasure. I saw it on Netflix. I was like, man, I haven't seen The Day After Tomorrow in like a month and a half. I think I should rewatch it. It's just such a guilty pleasure for me.
You should rewatch it the day after tomorrow.
Oh yeah, man. But yeah, I think The Great Outdoors is fantastic. I think if anyone in the chat or watching this video has never seen it, I do
definitely
wholeheartedly recommend
it. Yeah, definitely watch it. You'll have a good time. You'll have a good time for sure. So yeah, definitely recommendation. Yeah, I'm actually going to try and go back to bed if I get a few minutes. Kids still aren't awake. We've pulled this off. This is amazing.
Yeah.
That's always the fear in the back of my head. The kids are going to burst through the door any second.
It's like, oh no, I wanted some sleep.
Yeah. Talking about family comedies. So yeah, is there anything you want to tell, like that you got upcoming on your channel or whatnot, or that you're up to that you want people to know?
We have the re-upload from the last 2 hosts that we did. The last 2 hosts that we covered was, speaking about objectively terrible films that are guilty pleasure, we did Alien versus Predator.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yep. The first AVP movie, we did it with the long man himself. We did it with Mahler. It is on the re-upload channel, the 2 host re-upload channel. So you guys can go check that out. And yeah, that's what I'll plug. The next 2 hosts is probably, I think it's next week. Yeah, it is next week, and we are covering, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Ghost in the Shell. So
my God, oh man, if the time zones work out, I'd love to join that one. I love that movie.
Dude, for sure, man. I'll check it out. I'll let you know.
Send me DM me a link to the last one there. I'd love to watch that.
Oh, nice.
You don't mind.
I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Perfect. Yes. And in case anyone hasn't, please check out The Uninspired Reviewer. Yes. Please check him out.
Oh, thank you, man.
Do you have a link you want to share in the chat or something there?
Yeah, let me just get it up for the last video.
You get it up there, eh? And Roman's going to come in and kill it.
R.I.P. Yeah.
R.I.P. erection.
Right here, let me put it in the private chat. Oh, did I press a wrong button? No, there it is. Let me copy paste. Boom. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, and now maybe I can put it in the main chat.
Yeah,
Come on.
almost 4 hour stream on AVP.
Dang. It was fun. It's a guilty pleasure. So there we go. If you guys want to watch that, there's the link there. The Uninspired Reviewer reviewing the Alien versus Predator, which was filmed in Vancouver. Yay.
Yeah.
So a little hometown shout out there. For myself, I'm working on my next cartoon is slowly coming, which is
Nice.
the Infinity War cartoon. So last day story. So can't wait for that one to be done, but still at least a month out. So sorry about that, folks. I'm also working on a video that should be released either next week or the week after. That is about, I discovered something that looks like Seth MacFarlane must have been inspired by to create Family Guy, and it's not The Simpsons. So this will surprise you.
Okay.
And also, besides that, next live stream hasn't quite been decided, but I do know in October I'm 100% going to be doing Return of the Living Dead, probably my favorite zombie movie ever.
Probably one of the best zombie movies ever.
Yes. So yeah, if anyone here wants to guest on that show, please let me know, because I would love to have a panel discussion on that one. That will be in October next month.
Oh, dude,
yes.
If time permits, like if scheduling permits, I'd love to be on that one, man.
Yeah,
if I
I'd love
don't
to have
have,
you back
if I
on
don't
for
have
that one.
two hosts, if I don't have two hosts on that day, man, I'll probably hop on for sure. I love Return of
Perfect.
the Living Dead.
No,
I think
I
it's
love
one of
that.
the best depictions of zombies ever in media.
It is. It's my favorite. And like the Tar Man is my favorite zombie ever. We'll definitely. Oh man. Okay, we got to save this for that discussion, because I'd love to have you back on for it. That'd be great. So yeah, the zombies don't have much to do with the great outdoors. Yes, so that'll be next month in October. So the next live stream will be in October. I gotta thank you so much for being here, Uninspired Reviewer,
It's
and
my absolute
thanks
pleasure,
so
dude.
much for everyone that you've been super active in the chat today. I love that. Rod Thunderheart, Matt Penny, Melvin Deeply. We also had Vex was here for a
Cannoli,
bit.
Vex,
Yeah, that's
yep.
right. Cannoli Sasquatch.
William Shake Skeletor,
William Shake
who was the first
Skeletor.
person.
Yes, that
Yep.
was great. Yeah. So thanks to all of you for being here. Just great to have you as always. And please share. Please share the content on this channel. Please get your friends to subscribe, your congressman, anyone. Would be great. My goal is to hit 1,000 subs this year, and I believe I'm up to 838.
Oh,
So
you're gonna make it for
I
sure.
got 3 more months to go. So let's make this happen, and there's much more content to come.
Awesome.
All right. So thank you all. And from the land of the rising sun, and I guess from the land of from wine.
Yeah, wine and cheese.
Wine and cheese. That's all for today. Thank you very much.
Like, share, subscribe.
Did you hear that?